Hi, I'm Steve Taylor at the School of Psychiatry in Wessex. This video is for core trainees and their supervisors, and it's about the ARCP preparation for the summer of 2017. So I'm going to look at some of the documents which are available on the website and talk about the evidence that's required to optimise your chance of getting an outcome 1. So the first document I want to look at is available on the website. It's called, here we go, School of Psychiatry ARCP Outcome 1. So this is a sort of aide-memoire, a list of all the evidence that we'll need to see in the ARCP panel. So first of all, the trainee will have to have a portfolio, and the evidence in it will have to be spread throughout the year. All trainees will be required to do a Form R, which is on a separate system called Intrepid, and be submitted through the deanery. There's minimum requirements for the number of workplace-based assessments listed here, and I'm going to look at that separately on the ARCP evidence form. Trainees are expected to do a number of reflections throughout the year, and for those to be appropriately spread. If the trainee's been involved in any incidents or complaints, it's expected that there'll be reflections on those in the portfolio, so I'll be looking for those. As I've mentioned, the only paper form or word-based form that should be uploaded now is called the ARCP evidence form, and I'll be looking at that separately in a moment. For each year of core training, there should be evidence of an audit or quality improvement project, so I'll be looking for that, and here's where that should be documented. We're encouraging all trainees to start linking their workplace-based assessments on the curriculum, though this won't actually be required until the start of the 2017 August posts, and we'll be looking at those in the ARCPs in 2018. An up-to-date CV will be required, and also evidence of the previous ARCP outcomes will be on the portfolio. So then this lists specifically what's required for core trainees, 2 supervisors' reports. Now, if for trainees less than full time, we'd expect there to be a supervisor's report for each post since the last ARCP. So that might only be 1 post, or it might be 2, depending on how the less than full time is falling. So I'm just going to move to the portfolio to show you which supervisors' reports are required. So we no longer accept the paper-based or word-based reports, and we'll be expecting the supervisors' reports to be completed online on the portfolio. I'm just going to show you where those can be seen. So this is an example of a supervisor's login. So you go to trainees and select your trainee, and then go to reviews, new review, and the end of post form is level 1 core CT 1 to 3. So that will be the report we'll be expecting to see for the end of each individual placement. Then at the end of the year, we'll expect the clinical tutor to complete a level 2 supervisor's report with the trainee. And that includes a recommendation to the ARCP panel about which outcome the ARCP panel might give the trainee. So coming back to my checklist, this is what this refers to, the college report online form. That's the level 2 form. The workplace-based assessments I will look at again in a second. The case log. Now, I appreciate that not all trainees are using the case log on the portfolio, but they should be keeping a record of the number of cases they've seen. So I'll come back to that in a second. Again, the psychotherapy requirements I'll come back to in a second. So that's this checklist. Now I want to look at the ARCP evidence form, which is also a Word document, and as I said, the only Word document we'll expect you to upload to the portfolio. So this might look familiar, but it's been updated in February 2017, and this is the newest version. So obviously enter your details and then say which current year you're in. And if you're less than full time, tell us what percentage you are and how much time you've done in your current year. So your ARCP may not fall at the end of a core training year. Now, the main difference in this form is that we want you to include all the evidence for the core training year which you're in. So if you've gone from one training year to another training year, it may cover 2 years, or it may cover more than 1 year. So obviously include your previous dates of ARCPs and the outcomes if you've had any ARCPs. This is a summary where you write each post you've done on the rotation, the total number of full-time equivalent months, which will be the sum of these numbers, how many nights or on-call emergency shifts you've done, and the total number of cases you've done. Now, at the moment, we don't require you to complete the portfolio case log, but from 2017 August, we will expect that to be on the portfolio. We'll expect you to start using the log on the portfolio. This is where you record your workplace-based assessments. Now, if your ARCP is falling at the end of your core training year, you'll just include all the workplace-based assessments you've done since your last ARCP, or if you're in CT1, since the beginning of your core training. If you're less than full-time or you've had a gap in your training, you'll have to include all the workplace-based assessments you've done in your current training year. So for example, if you're a CT1, you've been on maternity leave and then you've come back part-time, but you're now in the beginning of CT2, we'll expect to see all the workplace-based assessments for the whole of your CT1. And the reason we've made that change is so that we can, in the ARCP panel, we can look at all your evidence to sign you off for your core training year. So that is a bit more complicated if you're less than full-time. If you're less than full-time and you've only done, say, 60% of your core training year since your last ARCP, we would expect to see 60% equivalent of workplace-based assessment numbers overall in this section. So the requirements here are listed for each type of workplace-based assessment. The psychotherapy training, as you know, has to be one short case and one long case, and for each case you'll require 2 SAPEs and 1 PACE. And in this section we'd like you to put all the psychotherapy training you've done since the beginning of core training, as those requirements are separate. So, as you know, one case presentation and 1 journal club. As before, we'd like you to record any exam results here. This allows you to expand on your psychotherapy experience. Here we'd like you to record any ECT experience you've had since the beginning of training, so include all your ECT experience here. So this is where we need to see evidence of at least 1 audit or quality improvement project per core training year, and we'd like you to include them all here since the beginning of core training. There's a space here to include any presentations that might be journal clubs or case presentations that you've done since your last ARCP, and spaces to tell us about your teaching, your study leave and mandatory training. And here there's another box where you can add anything else which is not included. That might be management projects, leadership or research. The GMC survey is mandatory, and we want to see your receipt here, and we will be checking that separately through the deanery systems. If you've been involved in any adverse incidents or complaints, we just want you to record them here, and of course to have reflected on them in your portfolio. Finally, on this last page, there's a section here to reflect and update if you didn't get a outcome 1 in your last ARCP. We want to see a bit of reflection about that here, and then we'd like you to sign and also have it validated by the local tutor, who must also complete an end of year level 2 supervisor's report, as I showed you earlier. So many thanks for bearing with us. Please get in touch if you have any questions. I realise that this is a significant change since the last round of ARCPs, and there may be 1 or 2 teething problems, but we want to make it crystal clear what evidence you need to provide and maximise your chance of getting an outcome 1. Thanks very much.